And we are live. Welcome back to a quick segment. We're going to try to do these periodically where, we know that many folks are out there looking for opportunities to upskill, reskill, search for a new job. And we're grateful. Many of you have reached out. If you haven't, feel free at Do Good Work on all things social media. You can also reach us at team@dogoodworkllc.org on email. But folks have been saying that with a lot of things happening in the world, but primarily what's happened since January 2025, lots of people are losing their jobs. They're without jobs. Their programs, grants, initiatives are called into question. And so they need help. And if we had a million, zillion, trillion dollars, we'd hire them all
right now
and give them work. But since we don't have that, what we can do is help people navigate this job-seeking season. So we're going to do some short segments like this that will be designed to give very practical advice about those of you who are getting back into the job search market, job seeking market. Sometimes we'll have a guest join us, maybe who can give us some tips, or someone who's hiring who can talk about that job. But if you're out there and you are feeling uncertain about your future because you are now unexpectedly without work or unemployed or underemployed, where you're being paid less than you anticipated making because of all sorts of things that are happening. You've been furloughed, you've been laid off, you've been temporary setback. We want you to know, first of all, your best days are ahead of you. Mm-hmm. It does get better. Don't lose hope, and know that you've got a friend in us, and we're going to try to help you as much as we can. So what kind of advice would you give to somebody who's like navigating the space?
Like you said, many people have reached out to us. Some of those people are family members, friends in broader society who have came to us and shared their story. And I want to note that we really appreciate you all being comfortable, and we're honored to receive those messages and you trust us to give you some sound advice. Yeah. I do also want you to know that some people who have been furloughed, there you go, are fired, that you still add value.
Furloughed or fired.
That's good.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. Your value, you do have skills. This is just a season that is tough, but some advice that I would give is, no matter who you are, you're putting in applications for, do research on that organization or the institution. Figure out what their mission is, their values, and do you resonate with them? How does your values connect with theirs? How does your work connect with their values? My grandmother used to always tell me she wasn't living when I started applying to jobs, but as an undergrad student who was applying for scholarships and applying for at different schools, she used to always ask me, tell me 3 things you know about the school. Mm. Why did you apply to the institution? Mm-hmm. And through those questionings, I was reminded that I need to do my own research on the school, because I needed to give her an answer. And it's the same thing for jobs as well. Like, when you go into that job, don't just go to the job and not know anything about them. Right. Know something about them. Know 3 things about them, and explain to the committee that, listen, I know my stuff. I've done my research. I know about you all. I know some things about you all. This is what excites me about this opportunity, and connect it back to your work.
Yeah, that's good. Know something about the place. So, we can't be giving out advice that we don't use ourselves. So, like, last time you've applied for jobs in the past, did you do that? Like, go through, find their vision, mission. Do you write it down and take it with you into the interview, or like, how do you practically use
I do.
it?
Yeah. I think the one is doing the work to research the school, right? Mm-hmm. That takes time, that takes planning, that takes really shifting through the website, or if it's a division or department specific, really looking into, there is an overall mission of the institution. There are some division missions as well. Mm-hmm. And being able to not recite it word for word, but giving some letting them know that you understand the mission.
Yeah.
I do, I try to practice it in my head leading up to the interview, but I also do write it down and take it with me for the interview. That way I can draw back on my notes and pick up some keywords and then filter it into my answers.
Love it. I mean, I think the other thing that I would say to those who are, sort of getting into this space, navigating something new, trying to find a job in the middle of all the chaos that's in the world. I don't know if this is, valuable, but go to www.linkedin.com and take the next 30 minutes to an hour and set up your profile. LinkedIn really is becoming what it was designed to be. It's allowing us to all be professionally LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And, it's not that you can't find jobs on Facebook or on X or on Instagram or on Snapchat or on whatever, Tinder. But if you really want to find a job and you want to learn about like job opportunities and internships and visiting fellowships and all sorts of things, LinkedIn is the place to go. I know people who are hiring, who are employers, who say, I go to LinkedIn to find my talent. So take a moment, use the bio space or the profile space to talk about not just who you are, like your name, but like what you do, your accomplishments. What have you done before that if you're a person who's just like really good at building high performing teams and you've been able to through a team increase enrollment or boost productivity or create efficiencies while also boosting morale, say that. Use those buzzwords: morale, productivity, increase, revenue, enrollments, management, leadership. Use them in there. If you want more, reach out to us, or you can Google this stuff. It'll tell you the words that are optimizing. But most people use that bio to say, I was born by a river. No. This is not what you want. You want to use that space to talk about high performance, strong KPIs, deliverables, what you are known for, and most importantly, what you're communicating that you can do for your next employer. The only other thing I would say is take a moment, fill out the educational space, chronologically for your degrees, your certifications and badges. Do not leave those out. Any digital badges, like the ones that we offer through Do Good Work around leadership and belonging, they make a difference. And lastly, although I don't get into this too much, I think there's two other ways you can optimize your profile on LinkedIn. One is endorsements. So you can get people to endorse you for different skills and traits. I mean, people do that periodically. I haven't invested a lot of time in that. But what I do is you can also use your LinkedIn profile to link to other sites, your publications, your blogs, so that any person who it's a portal almost like, so by the time they linked in with you, they now have access to your other readings, writings, and the things you do. Listen, if you're trying to get a job by any means necessary, I think you got to get the information out there, let people know what you can do for them.
Yeah, but hearing you say that really, strikes, something that I think about is this is a time to sell yourself.
Yeah.
And not, kind of shy away from that. Really tell people exactly what you do and why you do it, right? A lot of times we tell people what we do, but not why we do it. Give some context to the work that you produce daily. I think that also too is like, writing is important. Words do matter. I'll tell you something, y'all. Words matter. I've learned that recently in our relationship and other relationships, that words do matter. And we have to be very intentional with our words. Yes, it's okay to use Chat GPT to jumpstart you, but it's not a simple copy and paste.
No.
It is allowing it to be a tool to help you craft your narrative. And then, once we do that work to edit to ensure that it shows a perfect illustration of the work that we do, now it's time to put it out there. But not obviously put it out there, but be able to recite that, right? So there are times where the LinkedIn post sounds good, the profile sounds good, but if you can't articulate what is on paper, then there'll be problems.
Yeah. Two, usually when people want to find a job, they're pretty broad in their stretch and their reach and their consideration. That makes sense. But um, our advice is going to be that you really want to, no matter if this sounds like a arduous task, you want to tailor your materials to the jobs you're seeking. Right. So if you're applying for jobs, say in the social work space, and most of them require a degree in social work or some training in social work, use your LinkedIn profile, use the boxes and levers, use the cover letter, use the resume, right, to communicate to people your training and preparation in social work. If you're applying for a job in enrollment, and they're emphasizing, have you had opportunities to serve as an orientation leader, to get to know students? Were you a student leader? Did you, do you know anything about the admissions process? Are you engaged in professional associations? Use your LinkedIn profile, your resume, your cover letter as the space to really speak to those requirements, right? Don't leave the employer guessing like, well, I like the person, but I don't know if they have the skills that we know. What we typically advise people to do is like create a table where you lay out on the left side what their expectations or qualifications are. And then on the right side, you provide evidence of how you meet each of these qualifications, because it just makes it so much easier for the committee to just go through, check, they got it, they've done this, they know about Lean Six Sigma, they have the credentialing around enrollment, they are engaged in professional association. But also, I'll button up on this one by saying this: keep it real. Like if you don't have it, you don't have it. Don't tell them you did it and you have never done it. Don't tell them you're a member when you're not a member. Don't tell them you have had some experience, because they're going to bring you into the org, hire you and bring you into the org, expecting you to take them to a place they've never been based on what you've told them you've done. And so if you have finessed your record or fabricated the kinds of things you're really able to hit the ground running doing, I think you set yourself up for failure.
Yeah. So friends, we have offered practical strategies to help you in your job search. But know this: you matter, you're enough, and you belong in that role.
Just the way you are.